Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of The Insect Nerd, where I talk about all things insects. I talk about other inverts. I've got my two lovely white tree frogs, Neville and Luna. I've got Fairy the crested gecko, and there's other issues and stuff I'd like to talk about as well, like sort of the 5 animal welfare needs, and how people can meet them, and just sort of have extra subjects to make people more aware of animal care in general. So just, yeah, a variety of things. So today we're talking about this lovely thing here, which is a Chinese oak moth, which is one of the many types of silk moths. So this one is from China, southern China. Well, this species is from southern China. And they are also bred in Asia for sort of the silk they produce. It's called Tussar silk. I'm not sure if I pronounce it right, but the spelling is on there. And they are amazing moths. Look at those beautiful wings. Look at those amazing see-through circles there. The patterning is amazing. Like the Lepidoptera, the butterflies in the moths, the patterning is absolutely stunning. Also beetles as well. The Coleoptera, all of their, insect patterning in general is fantastic. I absolutely love it. But yeah, no, so they're very lovely moths, as you can see. They're not native to England, so if you do keep them, no, don't let them go. They're sort of, they don't come from here, as I just said. So care as caterpillars. So I kept mine, how long did I had mine, I want to say mid last year, and I kept mine as small caterpillars. So this is the one that's emerged, and I kept them to start with. So keeping them enclosure wise, you sort of change up the enclosure. So to start with, I had a smallish tub where when the caterpillars were really small. Don't want something too large because they will fall and they will die because they are that delicate, unfortunately. Good ventilation as well. Don't want mold forming. And kitchen roll at the bottom for easy cleaning, because you're gonna have to clean it out a lot because they poo an awful lot. I cleaned it out every day. I recommend it because actually bacterial growth is really dangerous to larvae. So yeah, I would do that for these guys, the caterpillars of these guys. I would do it for caterpillars of butterflies and moths. I would clean them really often because bacteria can be really threatening to them. But yeah, anyway, so food plants: oak, apple and cherry are good food plants. All food plants must be washed thoroughly. Okay, don't forget that, because you don't want pests going onto your larvae. Your larvae will not survive on the pests. Things like spiders and stuff can get on really easy, and you don't want them spinning webs and catching your caterpillars. That wouldn't be good, would it? And also, pesticides, insecticides. Unfortunately, if you go to a park and stuff, there might be more likelihood of that. There might not be, but I would always soak it thoroughly anyway. Make it nice and clean. Also, it's nice for hydration. Put them in a lovely sort of water pot. I use, just a second, I just use sometimes something like this. I know it's a mocha glass, and then I put the food plants in the holes, in the hole, and then I cover any gaps with kitchen roll, or you can do tin foil as well, but I think kitchen roll is just more soft, and it won't sort of be coarse against the caterpillar's skin. But so I put the food plants in here, and then I put kitchen roll so there's no gaps showing, because if there's any gaps showing, your caterpillars will manage to get in there and they will drown. So really make sure that holes are covered. You can use paint pots as well, or other stuff. I've made holes in other things, like those water sachets you can get and put in your cup. The pots of those, I've put holes in those and used those. So you don't always just have to use paint pots. If you have stuff like this in your house, it's really handy. Obviously I changed the water. This is just an old one that I found on the side, and I haven't put this one in for a while, but when I do use this again, I will empty it out. Obviously I clean the water out when you take the food plants out. Oh yeah, so just make sure this bit's clean as well. But this is an old one that I've left around. because I've been very busy today, well, this week. So yeah, I will probably do a video on how to gather the food plant and how to set it up. It's very simple, but I will probably do it in another video because it will take me probably into a much longer video. I just wanted to show you this beautiful species of moth, and do a bit of a little care information. I will put some up on the website because I still want to put the moths on there as well. I've done a lot of butterflies, but I haven't typed up my moth care sheet yet, but the millipede one's on there, and I will tell you the website link at the end. But as adults, now one thing is, so when they get really big, you can move them into a bigger net. So they grow up to 9 centimeters as a caterpillar before spinning a cocoon. You will be able to tell when before they're going to spin a cocoon, because they will be really large, really thick, and my goodness, you'll be able to spot them in the net. You won't have to worry about trying to look for them anymore, because the most annoying thing when they're little is trying to find them. Be like, where are you? I thought I had 5. Where is it gone? And then you find it. But you know, when they're big, you can actually find it a lot more better, or well, find it easier. But yeah, no, so when they're adults, so when they're bigger caterpillars, sorry, you can use probably a slightly bigger net, obviously, and you know, and make sure they have plenty, you know, they sort of wrap themselves in a leaf, as well as having sort of the standard silk around them. So yeah, make sure the leaves are still fresh. Do that anyway throughout, like obviously because they need food, they need fresh food. Don't make sure their leaves are not dry because they won't eat them. But yeah, as adults, moths don't really have mouth parts. I know, odd, right? So butterflies have something called a proboscis, which is used for drinking. So they don't really eat, but they drink, and that's how they get their energy. Whereas moths, they have their energy from when they're caterpillars. So they do all that eating, and then they save it for when they're moths. It was going to probably fly off soon. And then, and then, ooh, that's a lovely little flight there. Yeah, I thought so. It's okay, it's safe, it's on the door. I'm going to watch it while I'm talking because I can't do 2 things at the same time. But yeah, basically what it is moths don't have mouth parts. They have the energy from when they're caterpillars, and that's why they don't live as long, because normally they live 10 to 11 days normally, and you know, because they've used all the energy up they've sort of stored as caterpillars, which is really sad. I think that's the only thing about sort of getting these sort of things is bear in mind that some of them don't have a big lifespan, but they are very beautiful, and honestly they are a pleasure to keep and to study behavior wise, not just biological, you know, but in the biological sense, but they are truly amazing. I'm just going to get it back because I want to show you just I'll try and show you, but she's starting to get a bit restless. So it's during the day when I'm filming this, and I'm doing this on purpose because normally they're nocturnal. Yeah, well, not all moths are nocturnal, but I think this one is nocturnal. But yeah, she seems a bit quiet as well. So yeah, I took her out the net and thought I'd start filming. But she seems to be getting a bit more lively. I think she can hear some birds outside, bless her. So this one's female, and how you can tell, generally these ones have thinner antennae. The females have thinner antennae in this species. These species have different type of antennae, like, so they're not always like, I can't remember what the style of this one's called, but yeah, I don't know, what is it called? I can't remember, I'm really sorry, but it's just sort of thinnish, sort of like a thin brush. You can't really see it. Oh, it's a bit annoying. Well, anyway, the females' antennae are a lot more smaller and slimmer, whereas the males have puffy ones, and that's for attraction. So they have puffier they have puffier antennae, whereas the females have smaller, thinner ones, and also you can't really see her abdomen, but the females have sort of rounder, fatter abdomens that don't go past their wings. And this sort of is similar for butterflies, but some butterflies have some sort of dimorphic traits, so some of them have different patterns, so some females have different patterns, some don't. That sort of determine gender, but we might go into that another time. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this fantastic moth, and yeah, hope you appreciate the beauty as much as me. She's getting a bit restless, so I think I'll put her back now before she just ends up just flying everywhere and I lose her. That's the one thing I say as well. If you do get them out, just make sure that you keep an eye on them and don't lose them. But before we go, website links for there's butterfly care on there, not moth care at the moment. For millipede care sheet, there's also a care video on here on my channel. But my website is www.theinsectnerd.co.uk. If you want to follow me on Instagram, see what this lovely moth is doing, or other insects and inverts and animals I keep, follow me at theinsectnerd97, and I'm also on TikTok. If you want to follow me on there, you're welcome. I just do random stuff on it, so I don't take it too seriously. I think that's how it should be. But yeah, no, so it's just the Insect Nerd on TikTok. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day in this lovely stifling heat.